Hey guys, welcome to this morning's little training video. So today we're going to be talking about not necessarily practical design stuff, but probably the most important part going into a design, and that really is understanding the client's goals for the website, understanding what the product is, what are we trying to sell, and obviously understanding what the client's KPIs are. So whether that get inquiries, or whether it's just an information site or it's an online store. Really understanding what the client wants really allows us to not only design a fantastic site that really truly reflects the nature of their business and their products, but also means that we have a happy client. So I've just found an example. Beautiful kind of architectural kind of website. Now, if we were to do something like this for self-storage, and I'm not saying that this could never happen, but most likely it wouldn't really convert. It's very I like calling it kind of like the Swiss design. It actually quite reminds me of Swiss design, but it's very modern, very boxy, and obviously very minimalistic. Now, that's not necessarily going to work for a small self-storage facility, even a half decent sized self-storage facility. Obviously we do more than self-storage, but when we know that, for example, this hypothetical client, say, is a self-storage client, or maybe let's go with self-storage, and they're in Sydney or something like that, having a site like this probably isn't going to work. So going into a project, having a good idea of what the client is after, what they're trying to sell, really actually affects the way we approach a project and the type of style that we're going to use to design a website. So first of all, understanding what the product is. So for example, self-storage, what are they trying to sell? They're trying to rent units. Understanding what the client's trying to do, whether that's pushing for phone calls, online bookings. When we understand that, then we have a good idea of what the content will be, what the content flow will be. I know that I do my best designs when I have a very confident, I'm very confident in what the content is, and having a very good understanding of how that's going to work, what buttons I'm going to kind of highlight, what the call to actions are, and that comes through obviously experience, but also getting a good brief and asking the right questions as well. The second part of it is obviously that's really, really important. The second part is inspiration and resource. So sometimes we get awesome images from our clients, sometimes we get no images. So and that really, really does affect the quality of the website. I know that, like, when you get amazing images, you can normally just produce a fantastic website. It's got a completely different feel to when you're using generic images. So being creative with and without resource is super important. So I just wanted to show you a couple of sites. There's millions of sites, but I quite like Site Inspire, because you can actually filter by styles, types, subjects. So for example, if say we've got a client that's, I don't know, let's say selling homewares and or product kind of based stuff, maybe going, is there a homewares one here? Oh, cool, there is. So like homewares, we can get a pretty good idea of a look and feel. I mean, without even clicking on this, you can see that they all kind of have the general look and feel. So I quite like this site because it really kind of breaks down like niches or verticals, types of design. I do find sometimes they can be quite almost too modern, that for an everyday business they might not necessarily work, but at the same time they're also pretty forward-thinking designers that have done this, and I don't know, I think they look pretty damn good. I mean, that's very minimalistic, but I think it really suits the product, and it looks quite high end. But anyway, that's a cool site. It's called Site Inspire. Let's just get rid of those. Obviously, Design Inspiration. I'm sure all of us know about this site. I find that sometimes they're probably almost too modern for, say, some of our customers, but I think there's a lot of things that we can, and obviously ignore the girl, but I mean, in this, I quite like, obviously this is just a conceptual, I'm thinking like rally wise, I mean, the fact that they've kind of put this crowd in the grass with all the lights, the lens flares and stuff, it's actually been really well put together. So there's elements within, I think, any graphic or any piece of artwork that's up here that we can apply to our everyday designing. We've also got stuff like Creative Market. We've got plenty of resource in terms of icons, mock-ups. I mean, not so much templates, but in terms of if we think we need a specific typeface, or we need textures, or we need brushes, whatever it is, we've got a full library here. And I mean, just come ask me. We're always happy to buy stuff, but I know that having a different set of icons can really lift a website, especially say for self-storage when we're breaking down services. Having some really cool icons can really kind of make it seem different, especially when we do a lot of self-storage. It can really make a difference. And then obviously if we don't have images, maybe there's something creative we can do with stock images. So for example, if, I don't know, maybe there's, if we type in home, maybe you've got like random ones here. You know, you could get, say, let's just find some random. So maybe you've got, these kind of look pretty modern homes. Like say you got something like this image, you know, you cut out, I was pointing at the screen and realized you can't see my fingers, but maybe you've got happy people standing here and you've got a type package over here. Like we can be really creative with, just because a client hasn't given us photos, doesn't mean we can't be creative with the resource that we do have. We do also have, don't forget guys, that within internal project files, R6 Digital Design and Programming, under Design Assets, we've got brushes. We've also got CSS assets, and we've got SCSS assets. So obviously we're going to look at moving away from that, but I know this is super helpful, especially if you're like, oh, I can't make these two fields sit next to each other in a contact form. We've got code for that, so you can styling, so you can just copy and paste that, put it in. Save you time. We've got lots of mock-ups, images, icons, fonts, elements. So if we do end up buying it, let's make sure that we're putting into the folders. But again, today was really kind of going into a project knowing that, first of all, we know what the client's goals are and KPIs are, whether that's getting move-ins or whether that's selling products online, whatever it is. 2, resource. Do we have great images? Do we not have good images? Do they have good branding? If they don't, okay, well, what do we have? We've got access to great resource. We've got Unsplash, we've got stock images that we can download. So again, we can be creative with the resource we've got access to. And the third one we kind of touched on, but be inspired. Like if we're doing a site for, I don't know, say we're doing stuff for Rally, let's look at what Supercars are doing, what Formula One are doing, what the AFL, what the NBA are doing. Let's be inspired, because if we're constantly just looking at our own work and going, oh, let's do the same thing, we're never gonna move forward. So and what we're doing for Rally is great, so don't get me wrong, but having all those things in mind, going into a design, you should be able to just enter beast mode and just do epic designs, because you've thought through all those things. And I know that's what I think through, not only at the beginning of a project, but throughout the project. So, you know, I might get to the contact page and I'm like, oh, I'm kind of happy with it, but I think I can take it that next bit further. Look at inspiration, see what we can do different with the maps. Maybe it's breaking the grid, maybe it's blending into the background and we've got elements popping over, you know, whatever it might be. So yeah, anyway, that's today's video. Hopefully it was somewhat helpful. Again, if you want to buy resource, please come see me. We're always open to looking at buying extra resource so that it can help you guys with speed or even just take designs to the next level. And that's our video for today.